Hey, Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to Philadelphia Eagles Now. Before we get into some possible free agents who are left on the market right now, the Eagles can sign really at any given moment. First, gotta thank you guys for 26,000 subscribers. 26K, we did it. We were hoping to do it last night, and that, of course, is what happened. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. How about we just move on to 27,000 subscribers? Of course, if you are brand new, we're gonna do a mailbag video later on this week. If you don't know what that is, by being a subscriber, you have access to be a part of our mailbag video. So go down below right now in the comments section, use the hashtag Eagles, ask any sort of question you want. If you're subscribed and ask a good question, I might pull it and feature it in a mailbag video later on this week. Be sure to subscribe, but if you already have, I appreciate each and every 26,000 of you guys on today's video. All right, so of course, free agency is in full swing. Earlier this afternoon, the official free agency timeline opened up, although, as we've seen, a lot of deals have been taking place over the past couple of days. And while filming this, things can happen, and people can change teams, people can go to football teams. As of right now, I wanted to dive into 5 new free agent targets, 5 targets that are left out there the Eagles can go ahead and sign. As we've seen, it's been a pretty quiet signing period for the Eagles so far. I remember talking last week about how, technically the Eagles normally sign 4 to 5 free agents every single offseason. They've only signed 3. Now, 2 were internal guys, so really they only signed 1, and that was Hasson Reddick. Now, Reddick's a great free agent signing, don't get me wrong. I love the fact they went ahead and made that official earlier today, and of course it was really official 2 days ago, but still, love that. But they haven't really gone out and filled any other holes. Now, they've tried to land some free agents, as we'll talk about in just a second. There have been reports they, went for a safety, they've gone for wide receivers, and have been kind of outbid. But as of right now, Philadelphia have been a little bit quiet, and so the question really is, are they going to go get somebody else? Well, let's try and figure out who they possibly could go ahead and look at in just one second. First, here are some key free agents that were signed recently who Philadelphia either was reportedly interested in, made offers to, or I thought they would go after. And so you see 5 up on your screen right now. Chandler Jones became a Raider earlier today. Kind of glad they stayed away from him. A little bit too old at 32, but still a big signing for Las Vegas. The DJ Chark 1-year deal to the Lions still baffles me, but got to move on. Christian Kirk got way too much money from the Jaguars, but the Jaguars had money to spend, so why not? J.C. Jackson, too much money. Again, another price range. He went to the Chargers. And the one they did go after, reportedly, was Marcus Williams, the safety from the Saints, now officially a Raven. That was expensive as well. I think there is a common theme here, right? The Eagles seem to be priced out of most of their targets. Like most of the guys that they wanted to sign, Christian Kirk, for instance, they were in the running. They made an offer to him, according to multiple reports. However, $17, $18 million a year was too much for them to go ahead and swallow. So they've tried, and there were a lot of guys they probably wanted to sign, but being too expensive, Howie Roseman went, I'll go ahead and wait and see what happens in the NFL draft, as Philadelphia still currently has 3 first-round draft picks, which you guys know are my favorite thing in the entire world. Let me ask you guys this. We'll start with this. Will the Eagles make another big signing? You think that they will? Like, of the Hasson Reddick level, you think they will? Type Y down below for yes. Think they will not? Go ahead and type N down below for no. Let's get into my 5 players that Philadelphia could potentially go ahead and, sign. They're technically still available as of right now. And again, things can change. So don't hate me if one of the players on this list gets signed somewhere else. But we'll start with Bobby Wagner. We talked about Bobby Wagner last week. He's a guy who, again, would be a perfect starting middle linebacker for Philadelphia, but I think he's probably going to be too expensive. Based on what everything I'm reading right now is that there are multiple teams interested in him. One is Dallas, by the way, which would stink if he went to the Dallas Cowboys. Either way, Philadelphia obviously has a need. They went ahead and basically let go of, said they're not going to re-sign Alex Singleton, and so there are plenty of needs at the linebacker spot. But as I mentioned before, I'd rather go ahead and get a younger option and maybe a cheaper option as well. Wagner is still elite. I mean, this guy's like an 8-time Pro Bowler. I'm not saying he's so old that he's going to be on the downhill decline. Remember, DeMarco Murray came over to Philadelphia, and he was great in his older age. But at the same time, I do think he's going to be out of the price range. I don't think Philadelphia will get him, but he is still technically a target, one of the few really good middle linebackers that are available in the free agent market if the Eagles wanted to go ahead and address that spot right now. I think they wait for the draft. No offense to Wagner, been one of my favorite players on defense in the past 10 years, but I still think the Eagles are going to stay away. But, as we mentioned, he's available, and so we got to give you some names that are out there, and Wagner comes in at number 5 as a possible name, just not that likely. Rate free agency so far, scale 1 to 10. When you get free agency so far, it's been fun. It's been fun for other teams. It's just been a little boring for us. But again, I'm not going to complain because Hasson Reddick, but still, 1 to 10, give me your free agent rating down below. We're going to get into our next player on the list. Be sure to go and check out our friends at BetUS, as of course the tournament starts tomorrow. My beloved Baylor Bears. They get started against Man, I forgot who they're playing again. It's like Akron State? No, it's Norfolk State. Norfolk State, that's who it is. Either way, you can bet on the Bears to win that game or bet on any of the teams to go and win the game with their friends at BetUS. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code Eagles125 to get a 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up. If you're going to bet on the tournament, you might as well do it with our friends at BetUS because they give you the 125% deposit bonus, right? So again, chatsports.com/bet. That promo code is Eagles125. Jump in on betting for Baylor to win it all, if you like Gonzaga, I guess, or Kansas, or somebody else. Either way, get your brackets filled out and bet with their friends at BetUS. All right, next player on our list here is one that everyone on Twitter wants the Eagles to get right now. I'm a little hesitant, and that's Tyrann Mathieu, the safety. Now, not saying the Eagles don't need a safety, because as it technically stands right now, Rodney McLeod is a free agent, and so is Anthony Harris. So your starting safeties would be, I guess, Kayvon Wallace would be one of them, and then depending on what they want to do with Marcus Epps is another option there as well. Like, it's not good. Like, they're going to get a safety at some point. The question is, do they go for Tyrann Mathieu? Now, as I mentioned earlier, they went for Marcus May. Like, Marcus Williams. They went and tried to sign him. He was just too expensive in going to the Baltimore Ravens. And so, while Mathieu still remains a great player, you go back to the stats in 2021, 3 interceptions, 76 tackles. The age frightens me a little bit because, again, he's getting over 30, and that's kind of like I don't know if I want to go super old. But as I'm sure someone will point out in the comment section, Thomas, you can't have all young players on your team, and I guess that's fair. So I'm very open to signing Tyrann Mathieu. I know that you talk about Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame in the first round, but if they wanted a safety, this is probably the best one left and the only one really good to go in left. And Tyrann Mathieu, he's going to sign soon. I'll be shocked if he's still available when we get here tomorrow. But as of right now, Tyrann Mathieu is a free agent. Grade A possible Tyrann Mathieu signing, A, B, C, D, or F. What do you guys think? A, B? I think most people would say it's an A. I'd probably go B+, A-. It'd be a good signing overall. I mean, I'm not going to hate on it too much, but he's available, and the Eagles need a safety, and so why not Tyrann Mathieu? All right, next player on our list, as we keep rolling here on free agents to sign, the one good remaining wide receiver. Now, there are plenty more, as we'll show you, but right now, it's Allen Robinson. Now, Allen Robinson not being signed apparently is being linked to the Deshaun Watson situation, and even though there are reports Watson might go to Cleveland or Carolina or New Orleans or Atlanta, like, he might bring Allen Robinson with him, and so maybe that's why Robinson is not signed, but it's interesting that he hasn't signed yet, because he's going to get a lot of money. If Christian Kirk got $17 million a year, Allen Robinson will get 18, 19, or 20, and so Philadelphia really has to love Robinson if they want to go ahead and sign the veteran wide receiver from Chicago. I think Philadelphia, again, is leaning towards getting one in the draft, but the fact they've let a lot of other options go by has been disappointing for a lot of people in Philadelphia, and a lot of fans, as well. Julio Jones was also released by the Titans a couple of minutes ago. I'm sure I'll get a question on Julio Jones. Listen, for super cheap, why not? But Julio Jones can't stay healthy, man, at all. And he's a shell of himself. Like, Atlanta trading him to Tennessee was a big win for the Falcons, getting a second-round draft pick. So I'm probably out on Julio Jones. There are some other remaining wide receivers we should at least mention right now, 5 of which I think, all of whom would make sense for the Eagles, who are remain in the free agent market. Jarvis Landry is a free agent. Age is an issue there, and money, too. I think he wants a lot of money. Either way, he's out there. Will Fuller not getting a lot of love from people on Twitter. Juju Smith-Schuster. Apparently, the Eagles are out of the running for Juju, according to reports that I read, but he's still a free agent, so, like, where are you going to go, Juju? I don't know. Zach Pascal, of course, the former Nick Sirianni disciple at the wide receiver position in Indianapolis. He's a cheaper option, and same with Byron Pringle, who Eagles haven't had a lot of linkage to, but I would like Byron Pringle. He just isn't like a wide receiver 1 or 2 like we're hoping to pair with Devontae Smith. So go ahead and run back through all of the free agent options we talked about so far, and these are the 5 I think that are right now currently on the market that Philadelphia could still sign to fill positions of need. Bobby Wagner, the linebacker, I think it could make some sense, although the age and money could be a little bit of an issue there, and Philadelphia has not been tied to him at all based on any rumors that I have read, but remains available. If you need another pass rusher to go alongside Hasson Reddick, Josh Sweat, and Brandon Graham, Za'Darius Smith makes a lot of sense as he was officially released by the Green Bay Packers a couple of days ago. He's an option for Philadelphia. Tyrann Mathieu, the safety, probably the only good safety left on the board right now, the only one that makes sense for Philadelphia, although the fact no one signed him is kind of interesting. He is available. Allen Robinson, is he waiting for Deshaun Watson or just waiting for a lot of money? Either way, Philadelphia needs a wide receiver. Will they pull the trigger on Robinson? Apparently, they tried to trade for him a couple of years ago, or at least were linked to doing so. We'll see if that one happens. And finally, coming in at number 1 is Myles Jack. Now, you're saying, Thomas, you talked about earlier how you'd rather draft a linebacker than sign somebody in free agency like a Bobby Wagner. True. But Myles Jack's only 26 years old. Like, he's very young. He's very much fits in the mold of free agent players I would want to go ahead and sign. I think Jack makes a ton of sense if you aren't going to draft a linebacker, right? And Howie Roseman has shown he doesn't like drafting linebackers in the first round, so there's no guarantee they're going to take Nakobe Dean or Devin Lloyd. So if you're telling me that Howie Roseman won't take either of them, then give me Myles Jack right now. Like, literally, sign him right now. I don't care how much. You would be so much better at linebacker and defense in general if you went ahead and brought in a guy like Myles Jack. So I am very much for Myles Jack. People think I'm against it. I'm not. I'm very much for getting Myles Jack. I just want to know, are you going to draft somebody? Like, if I could ask Howie Roseman a question right now, probably number one would be, are we drafting a linebacker in the first round? If he said yes, then it's like, all right, I don't need Myles Jack. If he says no, then it's like, Howie, like, hello, you go get Myles Jack, okay? Very, very simple. So there you go on the overall 5 that I have right now. Wagner and Za'Darius Smith, I think those are the 2 least likely of the 5 that we have there. I think Tyrann Mathieu is in play. The question will be, do they want to spend the money on Tyrann Mathieu? Because these free agents are getting a lot of money right now. Allen Robinson, again, money is the issue there, although he's the best wide receiver that is available. I mentioned earlier, Juju's still out there. I would love Juju. I just don't think Juju's coming to Philadelphia, according to reports I've read. And finally, Myles Jack to go ahead and round out our top 5. I think Jack makes a ton of sense, and I would love to bring him into Philadelphia as long as you're telling me you aren't going to take Nakobe Dean or Devin Lloyd. Because if you sign Jack, then you don't need to draft a linebacker, and then you can focus on wide receiver more, cornerback, pass rusher, safety in the first round, trade to get Kyle Hamilton. A lot of options there for the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, name a player from my list you want the Eagles to sign. Is there one of the 5 that I mentioned? Wagner, Smith, Mathieu, Robinson, or Jack? Let me know who that is down below in the comment section. If, there's somebody else you would like to go and sign, let me know who that is as well. As, of course, free agency is in full swing, and Philadelphia, been a little quiet. Been a little sleepy. I thought they'd be a little more active, but Howie's got a plan, and I think he's sticking to it, and we're very curious and very interested to see what they're going to do going forward here in free agency. All right, ultimate for today on our Philadelphia Eagles news and review video, looking at available free agents. Again, make sure you guys are subscribed and follow me on Twitter at @RealThomasMott, because if things change, if they sign somebody, we will cover it here. I got the mobile studio, or not the mobile, my home studio ready to rock. So we're going to go for you guys here. Be sure to subscribe and again, hit the notification bell to be notified. But if Eagles now, Thomas Mott signing off. To the rest of your day.